Hello, everyone. My name is Joanna Ruelas, and today I will be presenting on differentiation and engagement through brain-based learning. As educators, understanding how the brain learns helps us create more effective, inclusive, and supportive learning environments for all students. Throughout this presentation, I will explain how differentiation and engagement strategies can improve retention, motivation, and overall student success with educational settings, specifically in elementary and early childhood classrooms. In this presentation, I will explain the differentiation and engagement and how they connect to brain-based learning. I will also discuss practical strategies educators can apply in professional settings to support diverse learners and improve learning outcomes. The audience would benefit most from this information includes pre-K through elementary educators, instructional coaches, and school staff. Brain-based learning is especially important because every student's brain processes information differently based on experiences, development, language, and emotional needs. Understanding this helps educators create instruction that is meaningful, engaging, and accessible for all learners. What is differentiation? Differentiation is the process of adjusting instruction, activities, materials, and support to meet the diverse learning needs of students. In brain-based learning, differentiation is important because neuroscience shows that every student's brain develops and processes information differently based on experiences, developmental readiness, language ability, interests, and emotional needs, because no two brains learn exactly the same. Educators must provide flexibility, learning opportunities that allow all students to access and engage with content successfully. Differentiation is significant because it improves engagement, retention, confidence, and access to learning. When instruction aligns with how the brain naturally learns, students are most likely to stay motivated and build meaningful connections. Differentiation also creates inclusive learning environments where students feel valued and capable of success. Differentiation supports brain-based learning because it reduces cognitive overload, increases engagement, and allows students to process information in meaningful ways. When instruction aligns with how students naturally learn, they are more likely to remain motivated, retain information, and successfully transfer skills into new situations. Overall, differentiation creates a more inclusive and supporting learning environment where all students feel valued, capable, and successful. Applying differentiation in educational settings. Examples from a pre-K classroom. In my classroom, differentiation supports English language learners and students with different developmental needs. In my pre-K classroom, differentiation relates closely to brain-based learning because young learners develop skills at different rates and require different forms of support to strengthen neural connections. For example, some students learn best through visuals and hands-on manipulatives, while others benefit from movement, songs, repetition, or verbal modeling. English language learners may also need additional visuals, gestures, and repetition to support comprehension and retention. One strategy is the multisensory learning. Excuse me. To bring differentiation brain-based learning into my professional settings is multisensory learning. The strategy involves using visuals, movement, song, manipulatives, hands-on activities, and verbal instructions to engage multiple areas of the brain at the same time. In my pre-K classroom, I use songs with motions, interactive sensors, picture cards, and sensory activities to help students learn concepts in meaningful ways. For example, during phonological awareness lessons, students may clap syllables, manipulate letter cards, and participate in movement-based rhyming games. Multisensory learning supports differentiation instruction because students process information differently, and engaging multiple senses helps strengthen neural pathways, improve retention, and increase engagement for diverse learners, including English language learners and students with developmental delays. Another strategy is called small group instruction, scaffolding, and chunking. Another effective strategy in small group instructions combined with scaffolding. Brain-based learning recognizes that students develop skills at different rates and needs varying levels of support. In my classroom, I group students based on skill levels or learning needs and provide targeted instruction using visuals, modeling, repetition, and guided practice. I also break learning into smaller, manageable steps to prevent cognitive overload and support working memory. For example, when teaching letter sound recognition, some students may need additional visual supports and repeated practices, while others are ready for more independent application activities. This strategy allows instruction to be personalized, build student confidence, and support long-term retention by meeting learners at their developmental level. This is another effective strategy by chunking information into smaller steps. Working memory has limited capacity, so breaking tasks into manageable pieces helps prevent cognitive overload and improves processing. This strategy also builds students' confidence and independence. What is engagement? Engagement is the level of attention, participation, curiosity, motivation, and informational and emotional involvement students demonstrate during learning activities. In brain-based learning, engagement is important because the brain learns best when students are actively involved and emotionally connected to instructions. When learners are engaged, the brain forms stronger neural connections, which improves focus, memory retention, and the ability to transfer learning to new situations. Students who are interested and motivated are also most likely to participate, problem solve, and remain focused on learning tasks. Engagement is also connected to emotional safety. When students feel safe, valued, and supported, they are more willing to participate and take risks in learning. Brain-based learning emphasizes creating positive classroom environments where students feel confident and motivated. Overall, engagement supports brain development by helping students actively process information, build meaningful connections, and retain learning more effectively. Applying engagement strategies, an example of engagement strategies. To increase engagement, educators can incorporate movement, interactive centers, collaboration, storytelling, and student choice. In my pre-K classroom, engagement relates closely to brain-based learning because young children learn best through active, hands-on experience rather than passive instructions. I incorporate movement, songs, interactive centers, storytelling, games, and collaborative activities to keep students emotionally and cognitively involved in learning. For example, during literacy instruction, students may act out stories, participate in rhyming songs, or use manipulatives to identify beginning sounds. These activities help students stay focused while engaging multiple areas of the brain and are emotionally connected to learning. One strategy that I use to enhance engagement through brain-based learning is in my professional setting is incorporating movement and interactive through learning activities. Young learners learn best when they are actively involved rather than sitting passively for long period times. In my pre-K classroom, I use brain breaks, songs with motion, hands-on center, partner activities, and movement-based games to keep students engaged and focused. For example, students may act out vocabulary words, clap syllables, or participate in scavenger hunts related to the lesson. These activities activate multiple areas of the brain, strengthen neural connections, and improve memory retention. Movement also helps students regulate energy levels and maintain attention, especially after transitioning or long instructional periods. Another strategy is building meaningful and emotional connections. Another strategy to enhance engagement is connecting learning to students' experiences, interests, and emotions. Brain based learning emphasizes that students are more likely to retain information when learning feels meaningful and emotionally relevant. In my classroom, I use storytelling, real world examples, student discussions, and thematic activities that connect lessons to students' lives. For example, during a science lesson about weather, students may discuss their own experience with rainstorms or create weather observations connected to their daily lives. I also provide opportunities for students' choice and collaboration, which increases motivation and participation. When students feel emotionally connected and valued in learning process, they are more engaged, confident, and willing to take risks in learning. What are the benefits of brain based learning? Overall, differentiation and engagement through brain based learning creates inclusive, supportive, and effective learning environments. When educators understand how the brain learns, they can better support retention, motivation, and long term success. Brain based strategies help students feel safe, valued, and capable while also improving academic outcomes and classroom relationships. These are the scholarly references used to support the research and strategies presented throughout this presentation. Thank you for your time.